What's up guys and welcome back to On the Brick. I need to send a huge thank you to Nathan Bourne for that amazing stop motion footage you just saw. Nathan is ridiculously talented when it comes to this kind of stuff, and he does it on his channel all the time. He also has a slightly extended version of this footage on his channel. I will link to that down below, so once you're done watching this video, I would highly recommend going and checking that out. Last Friday, I talked about the Trouble on Tatooine LEGO set, and while a decent set, I did say a few times how LEGO should have included Cobb Vanth's speeder. Now, thanks to the wonderful mock community, you can actually make your own and have your own. Though plenty of people have done so already, this particular version comes from Papaglop, the same guy who made my giant Razor Crest. Papaglop's version contains 105 pieces and will run you around $20 to get, and if you live in Europe, you can actually buy the set from Papaglop for only €20 plus shipping. However, the instructions for this are completely free. Links to all of this is in the description down below. One last thing I wanted to point out before getting into the build itself is that the instructions do come with parts for Cobb Vanth himself, and I chose not to get them. While I personally have nothing against Cobb Vanth, I just didn't want to spend the extra money on that. So without further ado, here is the speeder bike. Like I said, a lot of people have made this vehicle, but I think Papaglop's version is the most scale accurate, since the two prongs at the front of the speeder are clearly based off of Anakin's pod racer. Most people use those pieces when designing this set. Papaglop did not, and instead chose these ski pieces, which allowed him to make the build smaller and more compact. And that is the exact reason why I chose to do this build as opposed to any of the others. Obviously, with a set this small, there's not too much to talk about here. Like, there's no interior or super hidden details or anything like that like there was on the Razor Crest. But it still looks really good, and I really like how this came out. One thing that I am not a super fan of, but don't think looks bad, are the sides. The sides of the actual speeder are far more curved than this, and, well, this clearly isn't. Unfortunately, there aren't really any LEGO pieces that would get that curve correct, so I can't really blame him for choosing to do this instead. Of course, the seat for Cobb Vanth himself is included with the controls, and honestly, that's pretty much this vehicle. Like I said, I did not get Cobb Vanth, so here's literally a random minifigure that I just pulled off my shelf. As I'm recording this, I realized I probably should have used my sig fig, and as you can see, the figure does fit quite comfortably. I'm not entirely certain if a figure with a backpack would though. I feel like this jumper piece would get in the way, but then again, you can just put the backpack on that jumper piece. There is, however, one actual problem with this set, and that is the engine in the back here. Papaglop designed this entirely digitally, and at the time that I purchased the set, he had not built it yet. Which means, unfortunately, he didn't realize that this back area doesn't quite work as he hoped it would. Basically, if you follow what the instructions say, you won't be able to put the cones in and those clips together. There's just no room for them. What I ended up doing was adding a small 3L bar in between the cone and the rest of the vehicle, which allowed me to put it precisely in the right spot to hold those clips in place. As you can see, that is not the best solution at all. So if you have any suggestions on better ways to fix that, please do let me know in the comments down below. And yes, Papaglop is aware of this. I'm sure he's actually fixed it by now too. But one last thing I wanted to point out on this vehicle is the use of the turntable piece here. Most of the time this piece is used to hold others together in tight areas, so I'm not really sure why it was used here. This is one of those areas where I think an inverted dish, like one of those clear inverted dishes, would have been perfectly fine. Now, it doesn't take away from the build at all. It's not even a problem at all. If you build this, you're not even going to notice it. The only reason I bring it up is because I actually found it kind of funny that it was used here, especially since it didn't have to be. But that is this build. If you bought Trouble on Tatooine and wanted to get Cobb Vanth's speeder, here is a cheap way to do so. Like I said, the instructions are free and the build is only about $20 to get. Please do remember to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you liked this build or if you liked Nathan's stop motion, please do remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more custom LEGO builds. I need to send a huge thank you to all of my patrons here. Extra thanks to Jay Aiden, Project Element, Jonathan, and JVP1K, and again, a huge thank you to Nathan for putting that video together. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.